Mr. Rosselkowski wants to jump back in, but I'm not going to let you. It's a little unwieldy with 5 candidates. But I want to let Mr. Chaltiel get in here because you have a tie to education too, as the head of the Adelson School, another private institution. What do you think, though, your experience there can do for being mayor and all the rest of these folks talking about the nexus between education and jobs and improving the economy?
Well, first of all, I want to be clear on this. A private, not-for-profit school will not exist without generous donors. That's not a business. So my school or the other school or the other private schools survive only thanks to very generous donors. And you have in our school, as you know, a huge number of much higher than 25% getting scholarships. It's open for everyone. What I think myself is what exists in business. In business, you work on a matrix system. I was at Baxter Laboratories, head of international. I had to develop the business in Japan at one time. I couldn't do it by myself. I had to work with up to 30 different groups not reporting to me. I look at this in the same way. Yes, you're absolutely right, John. The mayor has got nothing to do with education. For that matter, nothing to do with the police, with the water, or with anything important to Las Vegas.
Well, let's be clear. The mayor has a vote on the city council on some of the things you just talked about, though. But the mayor can be a leader on education.
No, but on education...
Can he or she not?
I think you can. I think personally you can. You can provide leadership. You can talk to the people who are responsible for this. And by the way, it's not just the Clark County School District. It is also the Nevada system for education. We must have a top-class university here.
What does the mayor have to do with that? How does the mayor affect that?
Well, the mayor is the mayor. The brand name is Las Vegas. This is what we represent. The brand name is not Henderson or Nevada or North Las Vegas or Clark County. It's one of my jokes with the casino leaders here. If I'm elected, I want them to put as address Clark County. Las Vegas is the brand name. You have tremendous power of influence.
Let me let
and I think you can
Brown
participate, have the experience to help in this area.
Let me let Commissioner Brown jump in on this topic, and then we'll move on to another topic. And you know, Carolyn Goodman has talked about education in her ads. You've heard what Steve Ross said. We've heard what these other candidates have said. Do you think that Oscar Goodman, as mayor, you served with him for a long time, should have talked more about education? I mean, he essentially came in, as I recall, and said the school system here stinks. I think maybe his wife was whispering in his ear at that time, and then he shut up about it because he didn't say much more for the next 10, 11 years. Should he have been doing more?
That's up to Oscar to answer. I think as a mayor, you can certainly do some things, John. And I sat on the bond oversight committee. The mayor and the city council have direct impact on zoning and land use and siting schools and infrastructure. Commissioner Weekly, Councilman Weekly at the time, and I saved middle school sports through a donation from city dollars into the school system. So there's things that the mayor can do, but not to sit and criticize. As a parent now, I had 3 kids go through the public school system, one still in it, and Ruth Deskin, I think, is an example of my role as mayor or parent. We went through year-round school. We went through double sessions. We went back to year-round school. And that's because of the explosive growth and all the redistricting. But as a parent, what am I to say? That it's a horrible school system? No. We contribute. We work with the teachers. We sell candy bars, and I'm sure all the parents out there know.
Let me just stop you. That's what you're doing as a parent. The issue here is what the mayor can do. The mayor has the loudest voice in Southern Nevada. Certainly Oscar Goodman proved that. Why not talk more about education and the nexus with the economy and creating jobs? That's what some of these folks here are saying.
John, we do. And anybody that follows the city or the county, we have those interactions. We have either through committees or interlocal agreements. There's a host of relationships between the city and the school district. But the mayor, if they want to really go in and change public policy at the Clark County School District, run for school district board of trustee or go become a superintendent. All we can do is support.
You can jump in. Go ahead.
Okay. From day one, though, when I got in this race, I raised the issue that there's 114 schools in here. You cannot attract a business if you don't have a quality K through higher ed system. That's what this is all about, and we can't lose focus on that. You start to do that by bringing those relationships. It's not the mayor's job. It's everybody's job. And if we're going to build a community, then you have to make sure that your system from higher ed all the way to the kindergartens or preschool is quality schooling. We have problems, but we have so much opportunity. And that's why I promoted adopting the schools with businesses.
Carolyn Goodman, then Mr. Chaltiel. Go ahead.
Okay, just a little fact. 145 businesses went to move from California to go elsewhere in this past year. 5 came to Southern Nevada. Why? Because of the school system. You ask the people the first thing they want if they have a child or grandchildren before they move, much like Oscar and I did, was what is the quality of the school? We're in a deep hole right now. We need businesses to move here. We need to create jobs. And with all this wonderful climate of no income tax, no corporate tax, no estate tax, we are sitting with this gorgeous weather where everything else is suffering. This should be the foremost piece to fix.
Shouldn't then your husband, maybe even Mr. Ross, Mr. Brown, and Christian Killian is a little bit different because she's been talking about education in her previous life. Shouldn't he have been doing more to talk about education because he can be so persuasive? The mayor has the bully pulpit of all bullies. Shouldn't he? Why aren't you telling him to do that instead of chopping out people's thumbs?
Well, because that brought attention nationally about graffiti everywhere. It was the subject of the Council on Mayors in Washington, D.C. that we attended. But more specifically, he started downtown. You know well about it with the research, the medical research, and the care that we're giving down there where people will be coming in, the Smith Center. There's so many areas that he had to concentrate.
About education, though, the K through 12
there
system.
wasn't enough time. This is a man that's up in a part-time job in those days for his salary of $50,000. He was working full-time trying to repair the core of the city, which you see how that's come.
All right, Mr. Chattel, quickly.
The issues are following. There is a major contradiction by some of the candidates between we need to improve education because without education no company will come. And then 1 second later, oh, we need job right away. People are without a job. Obviously, improving education, there is no magic. It's not pushing a button and suddenly people are going to be fantastic, in the U.S.
Same with creating jobs. You can't just push a button and create jobs either.
But the fact is, the job issue is the number one issue. How can you educate your kid if the father is unemployed and he goes back home and he has no food on the table?
What can a mayor do to create jobs?
So
tell me.
I think, that's the issue, creating jobs. And the mayor can do a lot of things as a leader to attract jobs to our city. And I think the more we keep talking about the fact that, the education in Las Vegas is terrible, I think we're doing a disservice to our city. I think insulting our teachers and our students and the whole educational establishment is wrong. We have to improve it. We have to work with them to improve it. But
are you saying Carolyn Goodman's insulting the education establishment?
I am saying by keeping saying that this is the last in the country, it's a disaster, but at the same minute, we can't attract any jobs. We have a responsibility here to attract jobs.
Let me ask you
a tremendous infrastructure here to attract jobs.
Are you still here, Councilman Ross?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm checking this all up, and it's made me recognize, John, that I think I'm the only one here that's running for mayor, because no one else is focused on what this city needs today, and that is jobs. And we can put people to work tomorrow. We can offer tax credits and incentives to existing businesses today to hire new employees. Even if it's 2 or 3 employees, that's what's going to get this economy moving.
You have a jobs plan.
Education.
You have a jobs plan that you're proud of.
Absolutely.
And it has to do with tax. Let me tell people, tax credits and cut red tape, attract new business, strengthen public schools, which you put in there. So don't deride them for talking about education.
What does it say? Strengthen.
Great. But how are you going to do that? You're just going to suddenly offer willy-nilly tax credits to businesses?
Day one, your business, tax credits for hiring 2 or 3 employees.
What kind of tax credits? Tell me.
Every tax credit that we can give you. Right now, the city of Las Vegas does not have a comprehensive jobs plan to put people back to work. 14% unemployment? Shame on us. Why aren't we focused on putting those people to work?
You can't say we're going to give willy-nilly tax credits. That takes money from somewhere else. What's the plan?
It sure
What's
does,
the policy?
John, but it puts people to work. And as I'm talking to people who are having a hard time feeding their children, making their mortgage payments, let alone going to school and paying the cost of what it takes to even go to a public school, it's challenging. That has to be the number one priority of this mayor's office, is putting people to work, bar none.
But there really are no details in your plan. You keep saying there are details, but what are the details?
John, those tax credits and incentives are out there. We've done it for a long time with businesses in the downtown community. We've also got to offer those same tax credits and incentives to new businesses, new industries. You've read the plan: biotech, high-tech, manufacturing. Shame on us for not going across the border and dragging those employers over here and helping them get started in business, giving them a leg up, if you will, in the business community.